Good morning, and good morning, good people. This is a day that the Lord has made, and we are doing our very best to rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Lunchtime Learning, where faith, fellowship, and food for thought all come together at the table of truth and transformation. I am your guide, and I'm so glad you've taken time out from your busy day to feed your mind and fuel your soul. Whether you're tuning in at your desk, your kitchen, your car, or your break room, today you're in the right place at the right time for the right reason. This session continues to be brought to you by the Friendship Church, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church of Fort Pierce, Florida. We are the church where love is the answer, and we are thrilled to continue on this powerful journey and begin a new journey, or continue or revisit a journey that has shaped our faith, our families, our freedom, and our future. Because today we began our study of the history of HBCUs. Now, some of you have taken this journey with me before on Zoom, but the Lord laid it on my heart to offer it to a broader audience. So those of you who've already been here with me, I thank you for your continued patience and participation. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, I pray that something is said that will increase your knowledge and appreciation for our HBCUs, not just as educational institutions, but they are sacred grounds where dreams were born and battles were fought and leaders were molded and legacies were launched. These schools weren't just built on bricks and books. They were built on prayers, purpose, protest, and perseverance. From Howard to Hampton, from Spelman to Southern, from FAMU to Fisk, we honor not just the campuses, but the calling that built them to educate, to elevate, and to empower. In the words of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, founder of Bethune-Cookman University, she said, "Invest in the human soul. Who knows, it might be a diamond in the rough." So whether you are an alumni of one of these schools, a supporter, or simply curious, or maybe you're a high school student considering where you would like to seek your higher education, I strongly, absolutely, unequivocally recommend a HBCU because as we learn about their history, we also learn about our story. And through it all, we will remember that every step forward we take today was made possible by the sacrifices of those who came before us. So, if you're still with me, grab your notebook, your sandwich, your spirit of curiosity, and let's break bread together with brilliance. Welcome again to our Lunchtime Learning, where today we are proud to present the history of HBCUs. And so let's get started. Let me state in advance and ask for your patience and forgiveness in advance if it is not my intention to convey that I have all knowledge or all understanding about all of these schools. I have done my due diligence and research, but I dare not say that I know all there is to know about each and every one of these schools, but I will do my very best to represent them and hope that it will be a blessing to someone else. Please forgive me in advance if I misstate or misrepresent anything about any of these schools, especially if it is one you have attended. What is an HBCU? HBCU stands for Historically Black College or University, institutions of higher learning that were founded before 1964. The primary mission of these schools was originally to provide a safe space where African Americans could receive an education following the Civil War. Those students of any race or ethnicity may attend an HBCU. There are currently 101 active HBCUs in America. Half of them are public and half of them are private institutions. Before the mid-1900s, it was extremely difficult for black students to receive an education. The law prohibited the education of African Americans in many areas across the United States. Only a handful of institutions allowed African Americans to enroll in college. Oftentimes, black churches were responsible for the elementary and secondary education of African Americans to prepare them for greater advancement in society. During this time, black Americans like Frederick Douglass had to rely on self-education and informal educational settings in order to receive any sort of schooling. The first HBCUs were actually created before the Civil War, and most were founded in the late 1800s. Between 1861 and 1910, the American Missionary Association and the Freedmen's Bureau were primarily responsible for creating colleges and universities for African Americans. HBCUs were created as a place where African Americans could pursue higher education and gain professional skills. Most were founded in the South, but some were also created in the Midwest and Northeast, where there was still limited access to quality education for black students. Today, 9% of all African American college students attend historically black colleges and universities. The number of students enrolled in HBCUs has increased by more than 35% since 1976. These days, HBCUs are also open to any student that wants to attend. Today, 22% of all students enrolled at HBCUs are of other races. Today, the first school that I want us to examine is considered perhaps the oldest, by some, depends on who you ask, the oldest HBCU in these United States, Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. Cheyney University was established by Quakers in Philadelphia in the 1830s. Richard Humphreys, a Quaker silversmith and goldsmith, set aside $10,000, about 10% of his estate, to be used to establish a school for Philadelphia's black youth with the aim of raising new generations of black teachers. Its alumni include civil rights activist Bayard Rustin, the journalist Ed Bradley of television 60 Minutes, and the newspaper publisher Robert W. Bogle of the Philadelphia Tribune. Cheyney University, founded in the 1830s. The second school we want to look at is the University of the District of Columbia. The University of the District of Columbia. This university had its beginning in minor normal teacher training school for black girls in 1851. It started operations in a rented room about 14 square feet in a frame house then owned and occupied as a dwelling by African-American Edward Younger. Among its benefactors was Harriet Beecher Stowe. Stowe donated $1,000 from the sale of her book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. The school trained young black women to become teachers. It is the only public university in D.C. and one of the few urban land-grant universities in the country. Famous alumni of the University of the District of Columbia include Johnny Greer, who was the first African-American referee in the NFL, Euphemia Haynes, first African-American woman to gain a PhD in mathematics in 1943, Brian Thompson, designer of the United States $100 bill, John Thompson, first African-American head coach to win a major collegiate championship in basketball, and Lennox Yearwood, president of the Hip Hop Caucus, the University of the District of Columbia. Our next school is Harris Stowe State University. Harris Stowe State University is located in St. Louis, Missouri. In 1857, St. Louis Public Schools established a normal school or teaching college for white students. It was subsequently named Harris Teachers College after William Torrey Harris, a former St. Louis superintendent of schools and United States Commissioner of Education. In 1890, the St. Louis school system established Sumner Normal School to train black teachers. In 1929, its name was changed to Stowe Teachers College, after the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. The U.S. Supreme Court's 1954 decision in Brown versus the Board of Education mandated integration of public school systems. In response to this, Harris and Stowe colleges were merged into one institution, which retained the Harris Teachers College name. At the behest of Stowe alumni and other St. Louisans, the name Stowe was added, and the school became Harris Stowe College. In 2005, the college attained university status and was renamed Harris Stowe State University. Famous alumni include Bobby Wilkes, first African-American captain in the U.S. Coast Guard. Harris Stowe University in St. Louis, Missouri. I hope you all are still with me. I don't plan to keep you any longer than the Lord would have me to. But the next school we want to share with you is Alcorn State University. Alcorn State University. The history of this university began in 1830 with Oakland College, a Presbyterian college for white male students. The college closed during the American Civil War and was unable to reopen after the war's conclusion. It was sold to the state as an institution for the instruction of black students. Founded in 1871 as Alcorn University, named in honor of the sitting governor of Mississippi, James L. Alcorn. Hiram Revels, the first African American to serve in the United States Senate, was the university's first president. In 1878, the university was made a land-grant institution and the name was changed to Alcorn Agricultural and Mechanical College. Women first attended in 1895 and it became co-educational in 1903. The school acquired its present name in 1974. Civil rights activist Medgar Evers was a graduate of Alcorn, as was the late NFL quarterback Steve McNair. Alcorn State University, located in Alcorn, Mississippi. Our next school is Spelman College. Spelman College. The Atlanta-based female seminary was established on April 11, 1881 in the basement of Friendship Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, by two teachers from the Old Red Institution of Worcester, Massachusetts, Harriet E. Giles and Sophia B. Packard. The two of them traveled to Atlanta specifically to found a school for black freedwomen and found support from Frank Quarles, the pastor of Friendship Baptist Church. The oldest private HBCU for women, it was once ranked the #1 HBCU in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. Famous alumni of Spelman include Alice Walker, Stacey Abrams, Cassie Davis, A.J. Johnson, Keisha Knight Pulliam, Esther Roll, Bernice King, Sean Robinson, Bernice Johnson Reagan, Tiffany Johnson, and Vashti Powell. Spelman University in Atlanta, Georgia. Our next school is Fayetteville State University. Fayetteville State University, the second oldest state-supported school in North Carolina. Following the Civil War in 1865, a robust education agenda was begun in Fayetteville's African-American community with the founding of the Phillips and Sumner Schools for primary and intermediate learning. In 1867, the schools consolidated to form the Howard School, following the vision of the Freedmen's Bureau Chief General Oliver O. Howard, who erected a building on a tract of land generously donated by 7 prominent African-American men. In 1877, an act of the North Carolina legislature provided for the establishment of the first teacher training institution for African Americans in the state. Recognized for its successful record of educating black youth, the Howard School was selected for this designation and in that year became the state colored normal school and the first state-sponsored institution for the education of African American teachers in the South. Famous alumni of Fayetteville State University, located in Fayetteville, North Carolina, include actor Effion Crockett. Fayetteville State University. Our next school is Morehouse College. Morehouse College, the largest men's college in the United States, and it is one of 2 HBCUs to produce Rhodes Scholars, one of the world's most prestigious scholarships. For over 150 years, Morehouse College has been producing extraordinary leaders, visionaries, and pillars of the community. Since their humble beginnings in a church basement in 1867, they have established a legacy of excellence that continues to strengthen with each passing year. Famous graduates like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Spike Lee, and Dr. Ranzer Thomas are joined by 5 Rhodes Scholars, as well as congressmen, business titans, college presidents, and many more who proudly represent the Morehouse ideals. Morehouse College, located in Atlanta, Georgia. Our next school, Howard University. Howard University. Howard University is a private research university located in Washington, D.C., and founded in 1867. Since 1867, Howard has awarded more than 100,000 degrees in the professions, arts, science, and humanities, and ranks among the highest producers of the nation's black professionals. Howard has grown from a single-frame building in 1867 and evolved to more than 89 acres, including the 6-story, 400-bed Howard University Hospital. The School of Law has produced more than 4,000 social engineers, including the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, and is the #1 law school for African Americans, ranked by Pre-Law magazine. It has also been ranked the #2 HBCU and the most competitive HBCU in the nation. Famous alumni of Howard include Thurgood Marshall, Chadwick Boseman, Kamala Harris, Toni Morrison, Taraji P. Henson, Nick Cannon, Anthony Anderson, Felicia Rashad, Lala Anthony, Debbie Allen, Roxy Roker, Elijah Cummings, Stokely Carmichael, Roberta Flack, Zora Neale Hurston, Lynn Whitfield, Ozzie Davis, Kenya L. Johnson, and others. Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. Our next school is Tuskegee University. Tuskegee University, located in Tuskegee, Alabama. The Tuskegee Normal School for Colored Teachers was founded on July 4, 1881, by educator Booker T. Washington, who served as its principal until his death in 1915. The Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, the school's 4th name from 1891 to 1937, promoted Washington's principles of providing practical training for African Americans and helping them develop economic self-reliance through the mastery of manual trades and agricultural skills. It was renamed Tuskegee Institute in 1937 and was elevated to university status in 1985. George Washington Carver, who headed the school's agriculture department, conducted most of his research at Tuskegee from 1896 until his death in 1943. The school's 3rd president, Frederick Douglass Patterson, was the founder of the United Negro College Fund. Tuskegee University was the home to to the Tuskegee Airmen, and famous alumni include the Commodores, Tom Joyner, and Keenan Ivory Wayans. Tuskegee University is located in Tuskegee, Alabama. Our next school, and we're almost done, is Lane College. Lane College is located in Jackson, Tennessee. It was founded in 1882 by the Colored Methodist Episcopal Church, CME, now known as the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, as the CME High School. It was named after Methodist Bishop Isaac Lane, who co-founded the school. Planning for the school had begun in 1878, but the establishment was delayed by a yellow fever epidemic in the region in 1878. Its primary purpose was the education of newly freed enslaved persons, and the original curriculum focused on the preparation of teachers and preachers. In 1887, Reverend T.F. Saunders, a white former enslaver and a member of the Memphis Congress of the Methodist Episcopal Church South, was appointed the first president of Lane Institute. In 1896, the college department was formed, and the Board of Trustees voted to change the name to Lane College. In 1903, James Albert Bray, a black graduate of Atlanta University, now Clark Atlanta University, was elected president of Lane College after T.F. Saunders' resignation. Lane College, located in Jackson, Tennessee. Our next school is closer to home for those of you who are residing in the state of Florida. It is the Edward Waters College. Edward Waters College, or Edward Waters University, as I believe it is now known. Edward Waters University is located in Jacksonville, Florida. It was founded in 1866 by members of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the first independent black denomination in the United States, founded in 1816 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Edward Waters was founded as a school to educate freedmen and their children. It was the first independent institution of higher education and the first historically black college in the state of Florida. The first African-American Episcopal pastor in the state, William G. Stewart, originally named the college Brown Theological Institute. It continues to be affiliated with the AME Church. Struggling with some financial difficulties, the school closed for much of the 1870s. It reopened in 1883 as East Florida Conference High School, then changed to East Florida Scientific and Divinity High School. Over the next 10 years, the curriculum was expanded. In 1892, the school was renamed for Edward Waters, the third bishop of the AME Church. The original Edward Waters University campus was destroyed by the Great Fire of 1901. Edward Waters University, located in Jacksonville, Florida. And then finally, for today, our final school is the South Carolina State University. South Carolina State University. This university traces its origins to 1872 with the creation of the South Carolina Agricultural and Mechanical Institute within Claflin College, a black institution of higher education in Orangeburg. The institute was separated from Claflin in 1896 and established as the Colored Normal Industrial, Agricultural, and Mechanical College of South Carolina, the state's land-grant college for African American students. The college was renamed South Carolina State College in 1954 and was granted university status in 1992. The Orangeburg Massacre, and I encourage you, all of you, to Google and research this. The Orangeburg Massacre occurred on the night of February 8, 1968, when a civil rights protest at South Carolina State University turned deadly after highway patrolmen opened fire on about 200 unarmed black student protesters. 3 young men were shot and killed, and 28 people were wounded. The event became known as the Orangeburg Massacre and is one of the most violent episodes of the civil rights movement, yet it remains one of the least recognized. Famous alumni of South Carolina State Universities include retired generals and NFL Hall of Famers. South Carolina State University is located in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And that, my brothers and my sisters, is our lesson for this lunchtime. Let me apologize to those of you who have taken the class previously on Zoom. We had additional video content which we shared with you during that setting, but I did not want to run into any copyright or reserve rights complications by showing those videos, so I will not have them accompanying this lesson. I just want to present some of the basic facts about each school. I hope you've learned something today about these schools. If you're alumni of one of these schools, give us a shout out and let us know. But you're welcome to go back and watch the video again. Forgive me if I went too fast. But I encourage you to share the knowledge of these schools with your children and your grandchildren. Because again, our HBCUs have provided and promoted some of the greatest leaders of color that this nation and even the world has ever seen. We are the Friendship Church, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Pierce, Florida. This has been our lunchtime learning, and I thank you for joining us and pray that you have gained some knowledge or understanding from being here. The Lord willing, we hope to return on Wednesday for part 2 of our history of HBCUs, and then on Friday for part 3. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and may the Lord continue to bless you. And remember, love is the answer. Good morning, and good morning.